Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
What is up, Titans Nation? Welcome in to the 615. It's your host, Lee Hillis, and our two counterparts, Tyler King and Jay Murph. Gentlemen, how are y'all?
Good.
Fantastic. How are you?
Hey, we're doing as good as we can after Sunday. I mean, it's a little rough, but hey, we're hanging in there.
What happened Sunday?
Right?
I cleaned my house today.
Who are we talking about?
I don't know.
Exactly. Me and Josh had great times with our kids on Sunday.
I was about to say, you had your daughter.
Yeah, I was about to say, we had great times with our
in between Play-Doh and shielding our eyes to the first quarter, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
My eyes.
Pretty much. That's what the first quarter felt like. Whiplash.
Yeah.
Commanders ground the Titans, the Tennessee Airshow, 49 to 19 disaster.
Horrible. This is horrible.
Yeah.
No one they scored the rest of the game. Well, you take out the 28 from the 49. I think after halftime, they outscored us 14-12.
Yeah,
we should see that as a victory, I guess, shouldn't we?
I think it was 42, but yeah, it was bad.
21 points. They scored 21 points the rest of the game. They still beat us no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
let's go ahead and get into these stats, man, because these right here are. Go ahead. Pull them up.
All for you, big guy. Take it.
Yeah.
So we're diving in on the Titans stats to start this thing. Will Levis, 18 of 37, 212, and 2 touchdowns. If you take the completion percentage out of it, it was a very good game for Will Levis.
They had 5 drops too. You can't.
Well,
Can't leave that out. Tyler always says stats don't tell the whole story.
Exactly, and it's crazy because if you would have, like I said before, take out the percentage of the completions and, like he just said, the drops, and the fact that he only got sacked twice. I mean, honestly, as Titans fans this year, if we see we only got sacked twice stat, we probably would think it would be a different outcome, but it definitely wasn't, which is shocking to me.
Wasn't it so awesome to see him spike the ball into the ground just like a 3-year-old throwing a fit rather than taking a sack? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And then Tony Pollard, this is a very uncharacteristic game for Tony Pollard. 8 for 35. Tajay Spears was 1 for 3. Will Levis was 2 for -3.
Well, they said Tajay was because he didn't get a lot of snaps this week, but I mean, Tony Pollard had a game like that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
actually, it was the first pod that we had Josh on.
Yeah.
After the Vikings or whatever, it was, and then he came out and did what he did against the Texans. So it's like,
he's back. And this division, this division. I mean, he knows this division, and this division knows him. So I mean, I'm sure that might have played a role, but
yeah.
So I want to go ahead and play this clip from Callahan's press conference. There's been some talk about this team having a quote unquote hangover from that Houston win. And here's what Coach Callahan had to say about that.
No, not at all. I mean, no. As I even said last week, it's one win. We haven't arrived. We haven't done anything that would require us to have to worry about that. And oh, we're trying to do a stack 2 weeks together. And I thought we were on a good trajectory, a big win on the road, and then to come out and play the game the way we did was just disappointing to go down in that game early and not be able to come back. And yeah, there's no part about anything that I feel or our team should feel is that we guys should have an issue dealing with that. And again, that's after the game and in the heat of the moment. But yeah, we shouldn't have had any issue.
Although you don't feel that way, that is, what came out of the locker room yesterday. Like, you hear that, do you think that maybe there's something different you need to do this week to, make sure that that's something that's tucked away and not coming out again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it all ultimately is my responsibility, and if that's the way that the team feels and something didn't go right, and whether I was aware of it or not, if that's the sentiment, that's the sentiment, and I can assure you that's been addressed.
Whether I was aware of it or not. Whether I was aware of it or not. You're the dude in charge of the program. How do you I hate that this team comes out every week unprepared. Whether I knew about it or not. Like, dude, you're in charge of this program. They gave you the keys to this, and you don't know what's going on in your locker room that people are so.
That's like if we didn't talk before the show and we just were like, yep, here we go. All right, here we go. This is the product we're going to give. We're just going to cold turkey it. But obviously we pregame before the show and everything.
We
pregame.
We pregame.
It's just bad. You can't be the leader of an organization and say things like that. Like, this is your locker room. Like, these are your guys. I don't think a guy, you don't fire a coach till the coach loses the locker room. But if you don't know what's going on in your locker room, sorry, I'll shut up.
No, you're good.
But then we get into the receiving stats. We get into the receiving part of this. Huge day for NWI.
1-5, man. Let me tell you.
How many drops? He had two drops. PFF credited him for one, but I think he was targeted like 9 times.
8 times.
Yeah, he only caught 3. And granted, every time he touches the ball, he scores a touchdown. But
yeah,
he's going to regress back to the mean at some point.
So yeah, NWI 3 for 61. Calvin Ridley 2 for 45. Tyler Boyd 3 for 37. Tony Pollard 4 for 33. Chigakonkwo 3 for 27. Nick Vanette 1 for 6. Josh Wiley 1 for 3. And the big man, J.C. Latham 1 for 0.
Accidentally caught a ball. How about the reflexes on the big dude? What about the reflexes on the big dude?
And I think this should be the place where we hear from Mr. NWI himself about this performance for the Titans.
It's not what we expected. But we still got a lot in front of us. Still got a lot of divisional games in front of us to keep this momentum going. So, yeah, it sucks. We just started way too late. And it's not a testament of who we are as a team.
I like that he's not like. What'd you say?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how about them apples from NWI?
Go ahead, Josh. What were you gonna say?
I like that he's not arrogant after a win, or after what would be a personal win for him. That's one of the bigger games of his career. He looks like his mom. Yeah. I appreciate that, and that's probably why he's been on this team through three regimes now. 2 regimes.
Can we just stop here for a second and talk about him? And we've all had conversations offline, online, doesn't matter. And I've gotten Lee's opinion, I've gotten yours, Josh. It honestly, like, I'm glad that he's doing what he's doing. Obviously, I'm getting to the point to where I don't know if he'll be here next year. I don't know. It's going to be a testament to the man that he is and where he wants to go, because I'm starting to get to the point to where he keeps doing what he's doing. And we're going to bring this up later too, but Lee, I am going to go ahead and do it. 4 more touchdowns. He ties, since the Titans era, he ties Drew Bennett's record for the most touchdowns in a season.
Yeah.
I don't see why. I don't know if you said it yet, but you're gonna say you don't think that he's going to come back, and you don't think that we're going to pay him. Is that kind of how you feel about it?
Yeah, but also, Josh, me and you have talked, and we discussed this, and I agree with you on this. What other team in the NFL is he going to go to right now and do what he's doing?
Frankly, I don't give a damn where he goes. I want to keep him. Like,
I want
pay the
to
man to
keep him
keep him.
too, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying. But you did say like, and I think that works in our favor. For somehow, Callahan, Vrabel, which he's a Vrabel guy, as we talked about before we went live.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like,
Vrabel to the Bears.
but at the same time, like, he seems to he
No, Lee, I
molds.
disagree. Vrabel to the Bears.
He molds into everything, into whatever coaching staff we have. He's molding into. Also, we'll get into some clips later. I'm very shocked at he's not known as like a speedster type of guy, but at the same time, like his touchdowns a lot this year. Like you look at a lot of them, he is finding separation. Is that him, or is it the play calling, or is it timing? Like what is it? Because
I
this
think
guy
it's
is
play
having
calling.
more. He's having more success now than he ever has. So
Could be lulling him to sleep. I mean, like to what Lee just said, play calling. I mean, if you call a guy running the same route 5 plays in a row, and then all of a sudden it's a different route on the 6th one, I mean, that would definitely leave a guy open. I don't know that that's the case. I haven't.
No, I agree with you. Actually, I kind of that too. I think maybe he's at the right place at the right time in this moment.
But he's an effort guy, and so it's easy to scheme an effort guy open because the guy's going to give you 110% every single time.
Yeah, he's gonna do his job as we have talked about.
Do your job.
Do your job.
I need
Yeah,
a hoodie and
absolutely.
Well, to the fumbles part of the
and
Titans.
also, how bad of a game before we jump to that? Because that ties into it. How bad of a game for Tony Pollard? To have 2 drops and a lost fumble and 35 yards on the ground.
After what he did last week,
I mean, we gotta. Why do we? I feel like Tajay. Like for me, I thought Tajay was the second coming. So I don't understand why we can't find a way to get our running backs and tight ends involved in the passing game.
The Conquo, like we have to get him more involved. I'm confused. I'm not. I think he has Johnny Smith like tendencies like when we were like beating.
The very beginning of the year, Callahan said the screen game is going to be a huge part of this offense.
Yeah.
But hardly ever are we able to get the running backs and the tight ends involved in our offense, and it's not. I just don't know. I
think we should use Chig just exactly how Vrabel used Johnny Smith. If you
I think that was the plan.
Yeah, if you send him in motion and give him the ball on an end around, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I definitely think that was part of the plan for sure.
But something went but then again, me and Lee we were talking about this. Me and Lee were earlier today, or maybe it was another day, but we were talking about it. Callahan does not use his tight ends. He didn't use his tight ends very much.
You've said that before.
Yeah.
You both have said that before.
He doesn't.
Hayden Hurst had a decent year a couple of years ago when he was in the Bengals offense, but he was not the focal point of that offense by any means. He was the 4th mouth to feed.
Yeah. So when Lee first brought me on the pod, the first part of first screen grab that I sent him when I was on how you were last week with us, it was literally the tight end percentages of all the teams and offensive coordinators and coaches of who they used. And I mean, I think he was, what was it, Lee? I mean, it was
28.
up 28.
We have to pump the brakes on this line of thinking though, because Callahan's never called plays before. This is his first season calling plays.
Yeah.
Am I correct when I say that? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was even in his
Zach
offense,
Taylor was calling plays in Cincy.
Yeah.
So, that was part of it coming in. First time head coach, first time play caller.
Yeah. That I get what you're saying. That's fair. But at the same time, it all comes from that same regime,
Which is exactly why I haven't run him out of town yet.
Which is
Anderson.
Which is part of the McVay regime.
Yeah, that's true. He was like a ball
quarterback's coach,
Rams or something one year, and now
he was the quarterback's coach for McVay.
Okay, there you go. He came out of
And
nowhere.
then-
I remember not understanding the Zach Taylor hire, but obviously they've proved me wrong.
And then defensively, Daryl freaking Worley.
Coming out of the woodwork.
17
Coming out of the woodwork.
Shoot or shoot. Dude is all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah.
All over the place.
But 100 tackles in this game for the Titans. 100 tackles.
Mm. Man,
Which it's
that's-
not. That's
49
not a good
solo.
thing, though.
I was about to say, you get 49 dropped in your head. That's insane.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. Yeah.
So you
RBC.
basically get 1 point for every solo tackle.
Oh yeah, so the Titans defense had 100 points in total.
And you know what, man? Cedric Gray. Are we gonna see him like on the actual defensive side?
I don't want to see that. Yeah, the whole defense is a train wreck in slow motion right now. I don't want to add Cedric.
Which
Gray to
is
that.
which is so weird with how it started.
I would
And
rather
also
rather
He's
put
gone. Your
Say it.
whole secondary is gone. I mean, your secondary plays off your front four, front five, whoever you have up there. I mean, they don't have their
it's
secondary.
still your
Lee, tell me what you're about to say because I think it's probably around the same lines of what I'm going to. So go ahead, because I'm.
I would
dying to see
rather
him.
I would rather see Cedric Gray out there over
Oh,
Jerome Baker.
Okay, that's fine. I'm looking at these right now. I'm gonna
Depends
go
on your
down.
goal. Is your goal to develop Cedric Gray? Is it to win now? Do you think Jerome Baker's coming back next year? I mean, you traded for him.
I'm gonna also keep saying this right here, Lee. I don't give it. I don't care. I want to see 52 on the field on defense. I don't care
Yes.
where you put him. I do not care where you put him. Put the man in, see what he can do, because
Well, we
I've
saw
seen it
him.
live.
We saw him miss a tackle that led to almost a touchdown last week.
That's fair, but I'm just saying.
I want
Like,
effort guys playing right now. I want the guys that are going to run through a brick wall for Callahan right now. It looks like you got to pay somebody else to find that person.
Yeah, but I want to
Well-
see 52. The statue of that man. Like I'm telling you, he can make
It's
some
like
plays,
freaking-
man.
it's
I
like
like
putting-
that. I like.
It's
Hey,
like-
I like the Rand pick on that.
Yeah, I
It's
did
like
too.
putting-
I called it before it happened.
I like it.
It's
Yeah,
like- It's like putting Keith Bullock at safety.
I don't want him at safety. I want to just throw him
I
out
know.
there and say like, hey, wherever the ball's at, go hit that guy. That's all I want. Like the dude is an animal, and
Break his leg.
I'm telling you guys now, if we put him in, he will produce. And I know that's a bold take because a lot of people don't even.
You got
know who I'm
got
talking
money on
about.
this guy's career, Tyler? What's going on here?
I'm just the biggest. I'm a very big advocate of him, and we'll
I
see.
respect that he's a see ball get ball kind of guy. Usually, I was disappointed with his effort, but
Can,
Yeah,
can
no-
we
oh,
talk-
now we're going to talk about some Pro Bowlers. Let's go.
So something came out of the return specialist. Of the return specialist, Jaquan Jackson is leading the way in Pro Bowl votes.
The only way that happens is if the other teams that we've played immediately leave the stadium and vote for him. That's the only way that happens. I mean, they're talking about Mason Kinsey getting a roster spot to replace Jaquan Jackson. That's how bad.
Yeah.
By the way, if you've watched our pod, Josh, you know that like we're the biggest advocates for Mason Kinsey.
I know you guys love it. I don't.
It's fine. That's okay. That's okay.
I don't dislike the guy. The guy's put in work. The guy's worked hard. Everything he's got, he's earned. Like he's the definition of a football player. And I loved him, and I loved him playing for Brable. But I don't know, man. I don't know that he makes the team better by being on our roster. You know, on the starting.
Hey, if he catches punts and
46.
I don't even care. I don't care if we put Ollie or my daughter back
Or
there.
hell.
I'm gonna tell you, Elle or Ollie back there catching punts. If they're gonna catch it and not fumble, let's do it. Like,
Hey, I'm
I
working
don't
on
care
it
who
with Ollie. You know, we're doing the whole.
yeah.
You never know. 2036. Here we come.
I don't care who it is. I just
Actually,
want you to
2042.
field the ball. I don't care if you catch it and fall down and just like render yourself in the fetal position. I don't care. Let's
Just
just
hold
get
on to it.
Just get possession. And that's why I go with what Lee said last week about just put Chestnut back there.
I bring him up all the time, but my guy Tay was a Bears fan, so I'm spoiled by having been able to see Devin Hester growing up. I will never accept less than Devin Hester for our returner. And Mark Mariani is the closest we've had, and we have not had anything even in that stratosphere since Mariani left.
Yeah.
Don't know why we can't figure this out. Vrabel literally begged Carthon at his opening presser to find him a punt returner, and we still have not found one.
And I feel like going into once we picked Jackson, honestly, I think all of us kind of thought we may have from his highlights, but it's not been like.
Well, based on his pedigree, based on his freaking pedigree, y'all know who his pedigree is, right?
Yeah, Ed Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't have stole your thunder like that. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good, brother.
But yeah, he's Ed Reed's nephew.
Yeah.
Also,
you thought he would have some type of ability.
I mean, the thing that made Ed Reed so special was his ability to play chess with the greatest minds that have ever played the sport. He made Tom Brady and Peyton Manning look like fools. Yeah, I mean, it was always between the eyes with Reed. So I don't know that we can discount Jaquan just based on that, but he definitely doesn't have the hands that his uncle has.
And Lee, let me ask you this. And I know we're gonna get into the draft stuff for sure, like we always do at the end of the show. Every week we do. If we get Restrepo next year, and if he can catch punts, put him back there.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
God.
Yes. Yes.
Restrepo in the third round. Let's do it.
No. Lee knows we're talking
later. Get your guy. If that's your guy. Go get him money.
We're talking a later round. We're talking later rounds because I think he's still going to be there.
I was looking at Tankathon, which is where I find a lot of the draft order stuff that we have in the show. They had a 2 or 3 round mock put in. We don't have a 3rd round pick.
Are you doing this now, or are we waiting till the end?
I was going to go ahead and mention who they had to take in the 2nd round.
Okay,
bring it up. Let's do it.
So you'll see the guy they have projecting us to take in the 1st round.
Mm-hmm.
But the 2nd round, they project.
Give me some of that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
In the 2nd round, they had us mocked to take Jalen Milroe.
I will jump.
And we lost Tyler, everybody. Tyler has launched himself off of the Batman building.
That is exactly what I would do if we do that. He is awful. I'm sorry. I do not want him as a Tennessee Titan.
I don't want him in this.
I would take Quinn Ewers. I would take Quinn Ewers over him.
We don't need the QB. Look, they said today that on one of the talk shows, they said Will Levis is on pace to be the next Ryan Tannehill. Don't you want the best game manager ever?
I tell you what, though, man. You know what's crazy is
which is what I said when we drafted him. What's crazy? Well, that was something. Anyway,
but I'll tell you this right now.
The sound effect.
Yeah, I'll tell you this right now, which is I'm with you, Josh, and that's honestly when me and Lee talked about bringing you on is because honestly, I'm not on the QB train either. Neither is Lee. I'm willing to let's see what 2025 looks like.
No, I'm a big like guy for you.
Save yourself for Arch.
Yeah, there you go. I'm a big proponent of you take one till you get one. So until you know you've got your guy, you draft one. It doesn't have to be in the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Go ahead, Lee. What is it?
And this is going to make Murph very, very, very happy.
Is it not?
Do we keep Pavia here in Nashville?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I love it.
That's one tough SOB, man. He can take a hit. He's like a Timex.
I'm gonna send this in the group. Okay, I've already sent it in the group. The tweet that I found out. Titans are flirting with the idea of making a quarterback selection in next year's draft. Management apparently loves the idea of Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia staying in Nashville.
By the way, Josh texted me this literally like before he was ever even on the pod, just so you guys know.
I did.
It was literally when Josh was like up here, like, and we were throwing his comments up before he actually became a co-host. He has actually been texting that for a while now. So
love Diego, man. You gotta go Diego.
DP,
go Diego,
DP.
Go Diego. Go.
DP.
Gotta keep him, man. Gotta keep him.
Yeah.
And we'll get to the Jeff clip as we're going through Washington.
Yeah, let's run through these pretty quick. Yeah, let's get through these.
This is
Jane Daniels, 25 of 30, 206, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Brian Robinson, 16 carries, 103, 1 touchdown. Chris Rodriguez, 13 carries, 94, 1 touchdown. Jaden Daniels, 9 carries, 34 for 1. Former Titans running back Jeremy McNichols, 6 for 32. And wide receiver De'Ami Brown, 1 for 4.
That is the rushing list, not the receiving list. Notice 2 rushers went for 100 yards.
Receiving for Washington,
they don't run on us,
Scary Terry.
8 for 30 or 8 for 73, 2 touchdowns. Zach Ertz, 3 catches, 35. De'Ami Brown, 4 for 35. And Zach Ertz did have one of the 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Noah Brown
renaissance in his 34th year on Earth, isn't it?
Noah Brown, 3 for 27. Zacchaeus, 3 for 14. Luke McCaffrey, 2 for 13. Brian Robinson had 1 catch for 6. And Ben Sinnott, 1 for 3.
Raw's beast. He had like a 9.8 Raw's. For those of you who keep up with such things.
Then you hit the fumbles. Jay Daniels had 1 fumble. And then they also had 3 fumbles from Tennessee recovered. Then you hit defense for them. Their biggest benefactor, I feel like, they only had 2 sacks. You had Deron Payne and Cleveland Farrell, half a sack apiece. And Frankie's
got 8. He's got 8 sacks this year. I was scared that he was going to have like 14 coming out of this game, but
then their special teams. Good God, Jeremy.
Wow.
We're gonna do it again. We're gonna sound off again. Oh my God, I'm so sick of sounding off on special teams.
It looks that way, my friend.
But before we head into good, bad, and ugly, let's go back to their offense, specifically that running game.
Nobody runs on us. Nobody runs on the Titans. Nobody runs.
But let's hear from defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons.
Hell of a job with the type of run they was running. They did a lot of gap scheme runs, and we knew that coming in, and we didn't have an answer early on. Like, we didn't have an answer for it, and like I said, we could sit and blame just the front. That's on everybody on that defense side. Like I said, and start from top to bottom. You know, the game was going, and we knew. We said on the sideline, they run a gap scheme. These gap scheme runs where they pulling guys, gap changes. Like I said, it's all 11 on the field. Because at the end of the day, when they doubling, and they start pulling guys, we have to be better. We have to fit it better. And like I said, some of the things that we was position we was in, I mean, they were just gassing us. So especially early on in the game, like I said, from top to bottom, we had no answer in that first half for what they were doing.
Jeff, we see some critical times in the game where you and Sweat are not in. Like, how does that rotation work? I mean, is that like, are you lobbying to get in there in those times?
I do my job. At the end of the day, that's the way they want to sub it, and you know, Rock handled the sub on the sideline. That's his job, and just try to do my job.
Kind of what?
Did both of you just after watching that clip, like, not feel like you were watching somebody that almost feels like he's in distress?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, what am I doing? He's like, oh, I just do my job. But then again, he's like, they were doing this. They're like almost a panic. He was almost like talking in panic.
He just said the same statement that D Hop said a week before he was traded. I'm just trying to be my job. That's on the Colts or on the coaches.
So
and that goes back. Nobody knows what's going on in that building.
Let's go ahead and run through these 3 game clips. The first clip is the huge pass to Calvin. And then you have back-to-back NWI touchdowns. What a laser that was.
I mean, that's the stuff you need to see out of Will Levis to convince you. I mean, all right, when we did the Vikes game, the 3 of us, when we were rational and thought that we sucked, said that we would probably have about 5 wins, but what we really needed to see was improvement from Levis, right? Well, all 3 of us pretty much said.
Absolutely.
That's improvement from Levis. That and 2 sacks for 2 yards are massive when you look at evaluating
compared to 5 for 40.
Or getting sacked 8 times in a game and running into pressure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's taking you out of field goal range versus what I mean. He lived to fight another down, and even on that play, if Ridley doesn't catch it, no one does.
Exactly.
So, and it's more, and I know that you had the all 22, which was cool, but from the other angle, it's actually a much more impressive play. It was pretty sick what he was able to do. The pocket presence was clearly there for that play.
And then you have 2 touchdowns from NWI.
Levis taking a deep shot. Westbrook-Akine, touchdown! What a throw by Levis! And it's the 7th touchdown in the last 8 games for Westbrook-Akine.
He's got the most beautiful rainbow throw I think I've ever seen. And those throws make me nervous. Seeing a rainbow pass like that.
I know. But at the same time, it's like, and then NWI on the other half of it, he somehow continues to find this separation. Yeah. Like he does, like, and he's not known as a speedster. He's not. Are they focusing so much on Ridley or what's going on here? Because like all of his touchdowns this year, even the ones, if you go back and watch his like 1 yard like goal line, like red zone, like he's wide open, like literally wide open. And I know he wasn't like necessarily wide open on that pass, but I mean, if you have a good quarterback, you put anybody that should be an NFL like caliber quarterback, that's an easy throw. That's an easy touchdown. What we just saw.
He's our Allen Lazard.
Yeah.
He's our Allen Lazard. Go back to last year on what?
And then here is, I want to say this was a 17-yard touchdown from Levis to NWI.
Levis, Westbrook-Akine, touchdown! He just got in for his 2nd of the day. And he now has...
Pay the man. You got to pay him.
I wasn't sure that was a touchdown in real time, but I'm so glad they called it in our favor.
But regardless, still pay the man. We need to keep him here.
Absolutely. I don't even care what the price tag is at this point. The dude works hard. He's an effort guy. He shows up. They'll bring a lunch bell to work with you every day.
And there's no like locker room drama with him.
No.
Most
me and Lee doesn't even know who he is. Most people can't pronounce his name.
And me and Lee are very big on not having locker room cancers, which we've been actually like on other podcasts have been kind of. Yeah. But yeah.
You don't want George Pickens? That's actually a good question. Would you rather have George Pickens or NWI?
Right now, I'll take NWI all day.
Oh, he's scoring touchdowns right now.
I'm a Titans fan. If we get points, if we get touchdowns versus field goals, I'll take that guy all day.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But now, let's head to the good, bad, and ugly presented by Expedia. And of course, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to both of our partners here. SeatGeek, you can use our code 615 podcast 615 PODCAST at checkout for $20 off your first order of $50 or more on SeatGeek.com or on the SeatGeek app. And you can also, with Christmas here, basically, you're probably looking at taking a trip. You can use our link in the description for Expedia.
Absolutely. You can actually get on there and go, like, you can go get SeatGeek tickets to a Titans game and take a trip right now. Everybody's traveling, so use it.
Yeah.
The link.
Absolutely. Use Expedia when you go see grandma.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you see grandma.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Don't stay with the crowded house. Stay at the crowded house with all the kids running around, making all kinds of noise, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, waking up early, ruining your vibe.
Yeah.
Expedia.
Absolutely.
And for good, I went Levis's performance. You take the completion percentage out of it. You take the 5 drops out of it. That's a pretty good freaking game for Will Levis.
I'm not ready to give up on him yet. And me and Lee, Josh, before you came on, me and Lee have gotten a ton of hate on this subject, just so you know, from other pods and stuff. But I'm not ready to say, like, let's just send him off into the ether yet, you know?
He's in his second year. He just started his second year's worth of games. What would you throw him into the ether for?
Exactly.
I wasn't good at any job I've been at for the longest. It took me time to get good at it, and I didn't have to diagnose defenses.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the bad thing is the freaking penalties.
Josh, do you want to talk about this?
The penalties, not particularly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm over it, man.
Yeah, and then
I'm not a ref hater either.
Yeah, he's definitely not.
The defense was pretty freaking ugly.
Yeah, let me tell you, it's starting 28-0. That's ugly with some capital letters.
UGLY.
Oh yeah,
literally.
And you gotta throw Jackson's fumbling in as bad. Like, how do you fumble on that play? Nothing's been going right all day.
On the kickoff.
On the kickoff, you didn't even get touched. I've seen him get destroyed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And hold on to the ball, and
that's why, like, Josh, you said it on your first pod when you were on with us. You were like, I just need somebody back there that's just going to catch the ball. And, like, I don't even, like, just catch it. And, yeah, just catch the ball.
In the words of Mike Ripple,
like,
don't
do
dumb stuff that hurts the team.
Exactly. Yeah.
I paraphrased a little.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Don't do dumb shit. Yeah, it's cool. You can say it. It's okay. We can let it slide every once in a while. It's all good.
Tyler.
Star of the week and dunce of the day. Who wants to start this off?
I mean, I think
Jay Murphy.
Yeah. I know. I don't want to steal anybody's. I'll go with NWI. I mean,
we're all the same. That's fine. No, we all knew this is what it was going to be.
I mean, 8 touchdowns in 8 games, 4 away from the record, as Tyler pointed out.
Yeah,
4 tying the record.
Well, then you need to get 5. We need the sole focus of our offense needs to be getting him
the record.
Yeah, I know. I'm still in your thunder too.
Yeah,
get him good looks over the next 5 games, please.
And then the honorable mention,
absolutely,
for Star of the Week.
Well, he's got like 750 yards over the last 3 weeks. He's
over the last 4.
Over the last 4, okay.
And he's got 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
I love that
in 4 games.
Number.
Yeah,
number. Matters more. It matters almost as much to me as the first number.
But
it matters more for sure. Absolutely.
With every Star of the Week, there is a dunce of the day. I think we agree on this one.
No,
Jaquan Jackson.
No, I'm with you, but also, how can the leader of a locker and the leader of an organization not know what's going on? Like, you are the dunce when you have to go answer to a crowd of reporters because of something that one of your best stars, your up and coming stars, said, and you're like, oh, I don't know. That I've had bosses like that, and those guys don't last long. Like you got.
We both have, Josh. We know.
Absolutely.
We get it.
Got to figure out what's going on in your locker room.
And then
I don't know what you got
for
to do.
honorable mention, of dunce of the day, NFL officiating.
That's fine, Lee. But
See,
the dunce of the day is the special teams still, and it's going to be my dunce of the day until we fire him. So y'all can just get used to that.
Cold Anderson. That's the second week in a row I've been standing out in the cold, and it's getting cold.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's got pitchforks and stuff, and it's
bring your finest
come on, guys.
Pitchforks and torches.
Yeah, right.
We ride
and pitchforks.
Yeah.
So this is what Tyler was somewhat alluding to with NWI. 8 touchdowns. But Tron Davenport put this out this morning. Titans wide receiver Nick Westbrook-Akine is tied with 49ers tight end George Kittle for third in the NFL with 8 receiving touchdowns. Leading the way is Jamar Chase with 13. You have tied for second Scary Terry and Amon-Ra St. Brown with 9.
God, we got Des Fitzpatrick. And also the defense let us down in 2 ways, because if they hadn't let Scary Terry score 2 touchdowns, Nick would be he would still be third. But even still.
Yeah, he's still, yeah.
And then at the top for third, NWI and George Kittle.
How good is George Kittle?
But can we talk about how big of a moron Jaquan Jackson is? Titans rookie wide receiver / returner Jaquan Jackson has the 3rd most fumbles among all non-quarterbacks in the NFL with 5. The 2 players ahead of Jackson are starting running backs from Ramondre Stevenson and Kyron Williams. Both have 6 fumbles, with all of them coming on offense. All 5 of Jackson's fumbles have come on special teams returns. He has played steadily worse as the season has progressed. And this is the guy leading voting for the Pro Bowl as a return specialist.
You see my stance right now, guys? This is literally, as you're reading off, I'm like this. Like, that's insane to me. Like,
less touches, more fumbles. The same amount of fumbles.
Yeah, like, it's insane.
You know who?
Like Josh said earlier, he was like, "Of course, everybody's gonna vote because they want to play us." So he does that. Yeah, it's like, you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know who I would compare him to, who's also a fumble master?
Kyle Phillips?
No. Mr. Butt Fumble.
We were about
Mark
to throw
Sanchez.
Down. Mark Sanchez. I thought you were going to compare him to Oscar the Grouch because he's trash. But
no. But as we get ready to head into the back end of this show, updated first round draft order for 2025. This is before the Monday night games have concluded. The Monday night game has concluded for week 13. Jacksonville 1, Vegas at 2, the New York Giants at 3, New England 4, Carolina 5, New York Jets at 6, Tennessee is at 7, Cleveland 8, New Orleans at 9, Cincinnati 10, Chicago 11, Miami 12, Dallas 13, San Francisco 14, Indianapolis 15, Tampa Bay at 16, Rams at 17, Arizona 18. That shows you really how bad the NFC West is, with 3 of the 4 teams in the top 18. With San Francisco at 14, both the LA Rams at 17 and Arizona at 18.
it's a tough division.
Which means Seattle's a playoff team right now.
What's crazy, though, is like how bad the NFL is right now. The top 11, nobody in the top 11 right now or the bottom 11 have more than 4 wins. That is bad.
Yeah.
Chicago is still on pace to not win another game. Shout out to that prediction. Should have put money on that one.
Yeah.
They just fired their coach too. Well, we left that out. They just fired Eberflus. Chicago rejoice.
Rejoice, Chicago Bears.
I hated him because he was the Colts defensive.
You are now picking with the 11th pick. No.
Yeah.
Okay, question. Let me pose this question. If Denard Wilson is hired as a head coach,
sorry,
who do you get as your defense coordinator?
I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. I haven't had literally a single thought about that, but I don't know.
It's a hypothetical if.
And who would you go get? We can hire Mike Vrabel. I hear he's available.
No, he would never come back.
No,
I wish he would.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, he was a terrible defensive coordinator.
I don't care. The guys would run through a brick wall. He never said things like I don't know about XYZ happening in my building. Like he never said.
Well, he did throw his players under the bus.
Absolutely, as he should. Those players deserved it. Christian Fulton deserved that.
But
I do agree.
Two names that are at the top of the list.
That's the problem in LA right now. Is Christian Fulton missed like 5 games? Like it's and David Long Jr. Same thing.
Isn't he where's David Long? Isn't he a free agent right
on
now?
The couch?
No,
he's on the couch. No. He's where I'm at.
He's probably watching the show. Shout out David.
No, he's not. He's not a free agent. He's not sitting on his couch. He's in Detroit.
Is he with the Page Patriots right down the road from here in Spring Hill?
he got picked up by Detroit.
Is he doing well? How's he doing?
Practice squad.
Oh, well, on the couch. On the couch. He's playing scout safety.
But there is a mock draft that came out through Tankathon, which is
Josh is getting excited already.
Chef's kiss. I don't want to give it away
because of who the
Abdul Carter.
So the first round mock draft, Travis Hunter won to Jacksonville. Shador at 2 to the Las Vegas Raiders. Cam Ward at 3 to the Giants. McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona, to New England at 4. Mason Graham out of Michigan to Carolina at 5. Will Johnson, corner out of Michigan, to the Jets at 6. J. Murph's guy, Abdul Carter, edge rusher out of Penn State at 7. Tackle Will Campbell out of LSU at 8 to Cleveland. James Pierce Jr., edge rusher out of Tennessee.
I wouldn't mind him either. I wouldn't mind him
to New Orleans. Ashton Jeanty, I'm surprised he fell to 10. Running back out of Boise.
I'm surprised he's at 10. I'm surprised he's that high. I'm surprised he's in the top 20.
Have you? You haven't watched him this year, then, Josh? If you're saying that, there's no way.
No.
I'm surprised he even fell to 10 in this.
Kelvin Banks out of Texas at 11 to Chicago. Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan at 12 to Miami. Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia to Dallas at 13. Nick Scorton, edge rusher out of Texas A&M to San Francisco at 14.
Don't jump out a window, Lee.
Yeah. Having heart palpitations.
Yeah.
Jalen Walker, linebacker / edge rusher out of Georgia.
Feels like they always go defense.
To the Colts at 15. Luther Burden, the third, LB3, wide receiver out of Missouri to Tampa at 16. Siobhan Ravel Jr., corner out of East Carolina to the Rams at 17. Michael Williams, edge rusher out of Georgia to Arizona at 18.
I'm surprised he fell that far in this.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to. fall out at some point. I mean, that
Benjamin Morris, corner from Notre Dame at 19 to Atlanta. Penn State tight end Tyler Warren to Denver at 20. Seattle Seahawks at pick 21 go Kenneth Grant, defensive lineman out of Michigan. The Washington Commanders go Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver out of Ohio State at 22.
That would surprise me a lot if they didn't go defense.
Interior offensive lineman and tackle out of Arizona goes to Houston at 23. I'm not even going to attempt that name.
Oriente Ursary. Yeah.
No, I'm not the kid from Arizona.
There you go. Oh, I thought you were talking about 24.
And of course, he just said it. The tackle out of Minnesota to Baltimore at 24. Tyleek Williams, defensive lineman out of Ohio State to the Chargers at 25. Pittsburgh goes Isaiah Bond, wide receiver out of Texas at 26. Ole Miss defensive lineman Walter Nolan to Green Bay at 27. Kentucky defensive lineman Deion Walker to Minnesota at 28. Ohio State edge rusher to Philadelphia.
A lot of edge rusher movement in this mock.
At 29. Alabama interior offensive lineman Tyler Booker to Buffalo at 30. Josh Simmons tackle from Ohio State to Kansas City at 31. And
your Super Bowl
Shamar
champ Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Goes Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M at 32.
All right. Lee, bring us all up because I got a question for Josh. So this is not a devil's advocate question at all. I just want you to tell the listeners on why you would be set on or like why you're really big on take, because we've had a lot of conversations. I want to know why are you? Yeah, give them the spotlight after this. Why are you so big on us taking an edge rusher? I just want you to explain it to the listeners. By the way, I don't fully disagree with you. I think we should go tackle, but at the same time, explain to the listeners why, because I'm very curious.
Well, it's more about where you spent your money. I mean, you've taken Will Levis and you've built a team around him, and you've pretty much tailor-made a coaching staff for him. You have to give him more than 3 years. You shouldn't start a quarterback inside of 3 years. They're not ready. They're not developed. They're not there.
Look at Jordan Love. Yeah,
Jordan Love's the easiest example right now.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Malik Willis, his backup. He was terrible before his third year in the league. I mean, he's looking like he'll be a competent backup. And as far as right tackle goes, you've got a Hall of Fame offensive line coach. He should be able to develop you somebody who's competent enough to play right tackle in the National Football League. We went and traded for his guy and Leroy
Watson.
Leroy Watson.
Yeah.
You know, there's absolutely no reason that you shouldn't spend some money on defense after you've done this landslide spending on offense and investment on offense. Go get an edge. Go get something that can help you. Help Harold Landry. Help your most expensive player right now.
So my next question,
in the twilight of his career.
My next question, not to just Josh, but to both of you guys. So Boyd is not going to be here next year.
No, and that's unfortunate.
I think we need to pay NWI. Ridley stays.
Yes.
Would you put a wide receiver at a high pick for us?
Yeah, I'd go for one in the second round. It's a fairly deep class at receiver.
Josh, when do you get a quarterback in this league, though? Do you even as a backup
in a draft?
Do you draft a quarterback this year?
Yeah, if you can get a guy. I mean, it's all about where people value them, because it's easy for us to sit here and say, yeah, in the fifth round, I'm going to take Diego Pavia. But if somebody likes him in the third, he's going at the third.
Or Jackson Dart.
Yeah, or Jackson Dart. Anybody that you like, you take where you like them. That's where your board is. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, 4th, 5th, 6th round, go get a project guy at quarterback.
Restrepo,
or even 7th.
Restrepo as a wide receiver.
I don't know. You take a quarterback in the 7th round, because when you take a guy in the 7th round, you're pretty much expecting him to be a special teams contributor or on the street. So that's my opinion on it.
Well, that's why Cole McDonald's not here anymore.
Exactly. That was what came to mind. I was like, Cole McDonald, man.
Yeah.
7th round. out of Hawaii.
So before we get out of here, I might as well going to do, because we're reintroducing, and I know Tyler's excited about this.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We need to dissect these real quick.
Oh, the whiteboard. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to say that.
No, it's fine. It's gonna happen. You're fine.
And we are back with...
I love it.
Okay, Titans fans, it has been a minute since I have done this, but we are looking at two different plays. Not this is the first one of the two. The first play is the Brian Robinson Jr. touchdown run in the first quarter. So what you get is your left tackle, pull, left guard, pull. You get your center taken on Devondre Sweat. You get a double team. Actually, not even a double team. You get your right tackle on Jeff. You get your right guard going up to number 56, Kenneth Murray. Your tight end to the right. Go up and pick up Jerome Baker. The thing you get right here is he walks down. Your left guard would go pick up that. Left tackle would pick up Harold Landry. You get that block right there. You get sort of like this angle route because he's coming up field. You get the handoff, and then you get that by Brian Robinson. And that is how the Washington Commanders score on a 29-yard touchdown run. Okay, here's play number 2. This is the NWI touchdown from 29 yards out. 29 yards out. So let's focus on the blocking assignment up front. You get that edge block. You get the double team. Actually, you do not get that double team. You only get... Actually, you get the double team outside. Because this backer, or edge, whatever he is, comes right here. You get that, which Tajay Spears comes, picks that up, and then he continues out. Then you get your passing stuff. Calvin Ridley, you get the outside release. You get, and he starts moving back inside with Chig. Ridley, he basically comes in and then out and up. And then NWI gets a straight outside release to the house. And that is how you were able to score on a 29-yard passing touchdown from quarterback Will Levis.
And that right there, man, it's I've talked about it before with the NWI thing. Like, you see all the movement that happened right there, but at the same time, like, there's a separation that NWI is able to get, and that's a big reason why I'm saying pay the man. He's like quiet. He's that guy that just goes through the motions and like does his job. But if you look at all his touchdowns this year, he is able to get separation, and that's what led to that as well. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
I didn't look at the play, but I imagine that it put the safeties in a lot of conflict.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did.
And the fact that the double
safety
team
you
came
either
on.
had to go pick up.
Did you notice what you said, Lee, in that in the one? The double team came on the right side, which normally you think blind side, like maybe that's where the double team. Will Levis obviously was able to deliver that ball and did get step into the pressure because
it was number 92.
Yeah,
it was number 92. He basically worked from Raiden's all the way outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you had why am I going blank? Bobby Wagner come back over to the A gap.
Yeah.
Neck between Skoronski and Brunskill.
And that was the stunt that Tajay Spears was able to pick up.
Yeah. And then he breaks off that one out.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's awesome to see out of Tajay for sure. Especially since I always saw him as a little jitterbug.
Right. a little jitter with no knees.
Yeah, like
knees.
It was like last year with Tajay. It's weird. It's like you could give him the ball and think he's like dead to rights, and then he ends up getting 4 or 5 yards. It's like
a whole lot of that this year. He's been hurt.
No, yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, it's been
which is
been
something
very
we
different.
really needed. I think Callahan likes him a lot. I just don't think he feels like he can get him involved as much as
I think he's trying to figure out a way to like get him involved in the offense for sure.
He did. He said as much today.
Yeah, well,
with certainty. So,
yeah.
if he ever does figure out what's going on in his building, I'm sure Tajay will be involved.
Right? Exactly.
Well, I think it's time to shut up shop.
Right on.
Yeah, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Stay classy and tighten up.
Tighten up.
Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Tightened up. I've been scoping from the sideline, waiting for the right time to send the freshest team to scrimmage. So I'm busting y'all. Welcome to Nashville. We got this here. Don't worry about it. We got this here. Need to see the soul. Out till loud and clear. Don't worry about it. See, we got this here. It's a brand new dance and it's about to go live. Tighten up, Nashville. Rep the 615. First you tighten 2 steps.